What's going on, guys? Did not mean to do that hair flip. Sure, you know what? Wasn't that a great hair flip? That was totally intentional, and I'm sure we all enjoyed it. Good. Good for me. What's going on, guys? My name is Tommy. Welcome back to the channel. Time for another episode of min-maxing for fun and profit. If I'm really honest, probably the last episode of first edition min-maxing fun and profit for at least a little while. Because what? In like 2 weeks, the Advanced Player's Guide for 2E comes out, and we got witches, swashbucklers, oracles, investigators, and a bajillion races, archetypes, and other things to play with. I think it'd be a little crappy if I didn't at least touch on that for a little while. I digress. Today, Oradin. And also the compare and contrast between the Palical and the Oradin. Anyway, it's a super iconic archetype in Pathfinder. Honestly, it could have been its own hybrid class. Kind of is the War Priest, really, if I'm honest with you. I digress. We built one up. Want to heal your friends, want to hurt yourself to heal your friends, and also take your charisma as far as you possibly can. Well, if that's not what BDG is all about, I don't know what is. Anyway, remember, guys, patronage at any tier gets you access to a Google Sheet that this and about 1 billion other characters are put together on. At higher tiers, you can come join us playing games, playing this very thing and keeping your friends from dying. And today, in fact, this episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit was brought to you in part by one of our newest patrons, whomst I need to get my glasses on for. Here we go again. Oh, fun fact, starting in August, the tier that would get you a shout out actually is just going to get you in the credits at the end of videos. I think that's a little more fair to the 60 odd of you. Anyway, today, welcome board. Aw, buddy, I'm sorry to hear that. Thank you for your support, though. Now, got to do the glasses thing, because I guess this is my whole look now. Here we go. I am the meme. Let's dive in. Fun fact, attempting to mute my webcam just now, I muted my mic for like 3 seconds of the video. Oopsie poopsie. Anyway, Oradins, if you didn't know, are exactly what they sound like. A hybrid of the Oracle and the Paladin put together to get the most out of your charisma score as possible, and really because both classes have a lot of synergy with one another. It's very, very famous. Seriously, go look it up. Just Google it right now. You will get like 30 different ways to play this. All of which I didn't really know existed because I've been so allergic to clerics and oracles for so long, because just not my thing, that I've kinda not been able to see the tree ant through the trees. Anyway, I will start with first the quick comparison between Palical, more Paladin than Oracle, and Oradin, more Oracle than Paladin. I think the easy way to spell that out is one side will have more caster level, the other side, well, will have more BAB. In some parties, it may behoove you more to be able to bop things with your smite a little harder. For us, our goal is to just keep our caster level nice and strong, though we will dip around a little more. Today, in fact, we're looking at 16 levels Oracle, 2 levels Paladin, 1 level Unchained Monk, and a single level, of course, of Swashbuckler. Y'all have heard it 1 billion times from me. However, this one is entirely different. It's a whole different ball game, and all 4 of our classes will be archetyped. Paladin, gonna go Invigorator with this one. It's actually pretty cool. I never knew this one existed. Since we're only gonna be a Paladin for 2 levels, the only thing we're really trying to play around with is replacing like Smite Evil or maybe some weapon proficiencies, because Divine Grace is so important to us. That's kind of the whole reason we're here, is to get our best stat to all 3 saves, but also Bestow Hope. Beginning at first level, an Invigorator is a champion of their faith who can call upon their deity's holy power to bathe battling allies in protective energy. As a swift action during the combat, the Invigorator can choose a number of non-evil friendlies within sight equal to their Cha modifier upon which to bestow hope. Once activated, Bestow Hope grants the Invigorator and these allies, so that means you get to just get yourself in there for free without counting towards the total, DR1 over hyphen Barbarian DR1 until the combat ends, at which point the DR falls off. During a battle, the Invigorator can change the ally's disability effects as a swift ending. It is free, but each time it is activated during a single combat, another use is expended. The Invigorator can use this ability a number of times equal to 3 plus Cha, so already way more than the number of Smite Evils we would have. We must participate in the combat to use the ability. If we're frightened, panicked, paralyzed, stunned, unconscious, or otherwise prevented from participating, the DR is temporarily suspended. However, imagine this being level 2 after our monk dip, on all of the summoner's eagles. Imagine this on the rogues, or gods forbid, if your Oradin is walking into combat with a bunch of D8s and D6s behind them. Imagine this against the wolf or the goblin doing like D3 -1 on their best day if one of the damage falls off. This is huge. This is exactly what a healer archetype thing wants to do because it makes their job that much easier. Not going to talk about it much. Monk, of course, is Scaled Fist for our best stat, the AC. Yes, of course, there are some oracles that can get charisma over dexterity, but I think we're still better served just having both boiling in. Swashbuckler will have even more really fun secret tech for an Oradin, the Mouser. No opportune parry and riposte for us. Instead, at first level, if a foe whose size is larger than the Mouser is adjacent to the Mouser and misses with a melee attack, the Mouser can, as an immediate action, spend 1 panache point to move 5 feet into an area of the attacker's space. The movement does not count against our movement and doesn't provoke. While the Mouser is within the foe's space, the foe takes a -4 penalty on all attack rolls and combat maneuver checks not made against the Mouser, and all of the Mouser's allies that are adjacent to both her and the Mouser are considered to be flanking the foe. Yeah, isn't that great? That's dope as hell. Now, all of the eagles that are flying around and all of the summoners that are desperately explaining, no, indeed, I'm a monster tactician, haha, that has outflank, my 2 intelligence eagle is smart enough to know what flanking is, now don't have to worry about it. They literally can just move up and attack. Same for your rogues, and again, same for folks for whom it is your job to keep from falling on the floor and dying. If it's harder to hit them, it's easier to keep their HP topped off. And I'll just put this one in here now. This is hilarious. If you were to move into their square and then cast Sanctuary on yourself, that might just flat buy you a turn. If you, little Oradin, make your way into the wolf square, I think it stands to reason that I need to make a video about the wolf fallacy, and also that wolf is probably going to try to attack you, make the will save, maybe even fail, then waste that turn. Also, given the way that this is written, if your Oradin was to, say, borrow someone's wand of Reduce Person and just waltz into someone's square, well, the value is there for everybody. Now, the big one here, dare I say, invalidating all of the rest of any of your Oradin builds, or at least that's what the internet would like you to believe. Pays in Practitioner trades out the additional class skills from their mystery to grab instead a competence bonus on Profession Herbalist equal to half their level, minimum 1, and the ability to use Charisma in place of Wisdom when attempting Profession Herbalist checks. Super good for us later with Master Healing Technique, letting us roll Profession to make Paralyzed go away, haha. Essentially, it's Lay on Hands, and indeed, we trade out the first Revelation for Healer's Way, our own pseudo Lay on Hands ability, which is treated as Lay on Hands for the purpose of all our feats and things, aka value. Now, for our race today, it's going to be a halfling. This is partially because Driven Worker helps our Profession Herbalist checks that you never thought you'd be talking about in an optimization video be even better. Also a buff to your dexterity and charisma. Also you're small, so it becomes easier to do Mouser things, and also the favored class bonus letting your Oracle Curse tick up that much faster for value is just really good. For our stat priority, Charisma is first. You are casting off it, you are saving off it, you are ACing off it, you are Charisma. Dexterity and Con, probably this time you want to be relatively tied. Dex lets us go first, have a better reflex save, have a better AC, but Con is also super important for the Oradin because you will be sacrificing your own hit points for value a lot of the time. Then Wisdom so you're not mind controlled, and honestly, Intelligence and Strength into the floor. For our curse today, we will be choosing my personal favorite one, Reclusive. Whenever you are in combat, your allies must succeed at a melee touch attack to affect you with touch spells, and you must attempt saving throws to resist all spells cast by anyone other than yourself, even allies, so you're a superstitious barbarian more or less. In return, instantaneous spells you cast on only yourself affect you as though your caster level were 1 higher. At 5th level, you get a free extend spell. I, fun fact, played this on a Gestalt Oracle Druid for a little bit, and it was hilarious to have a free extended tree shape, let me tell you. And at 10th level, you're immune to charm spells and slaws. At 15th, you get spell resistance, so cool, all not bad. This is also a curse that doesn't really hurt you. For our mystery today, it will be life. We'll talk more about why we like the life mystery and how it keeps your friends from dying, but before we get there, our traits, magical knack, of course, choosing Oracle to help our stuff not fall off as much, but on top of that, Envoy of Healing, locking us into worship of Sarenrae, but when you channel Energy Fervor or lay on hands to heal a living creature, your Payzin stuff should stack with that. You can re-roll any healing die that results in a natural 1. Roll 3d6 R1, basically. Super good. And it combos real nice with our first feat. I think we all know what it was going to be if we've played this kind of thing before. It's Fey Foundling. Whenever you receive magical healing, you heal an additional 2 points per die rolled. You get a +2 on all saves against death effects, but you take +1 damage from cold iron weapons. I don't think that will ever come up, unless your GM just really wants to hose you, and honestly, Fey Foundling does make some interesting narrative stuff. Point is, the Oradin really spends more of their turns in combat healing themselves than everybody else, so buffing that out is super good. Bonus points if all your friends take Fey Foundling at the beginning as well. Our first level is a monk level, and hey, remember, we use the elephant in the room for all of our stuff, and follow this card right up here. If you don't know what that is, let me catch you up, my friends. That monk level will give us dodge and mobility for free, because in fact, if you have a reduced person on you, you might just, on your own, traipse into someone's square and provoke. That +4 is real nice. At level 3, it's improved initiative, because we want to go first and make sure our buffs are up, then it's step up. So as an immediate action, when somebody tries to move out of the square that we're so kindly sharing, we can follow along. Then, of all the things at level 7, alongside our first revelation, which we'll talk about momentarily, Toughness. Toughness grants you +3 hit points, then for every level above 3rd you get 1 more. Since we're going to be playing Spend Our Hit Points in weird ways a bunch, something to pad that out doesn't look horrible. Then Endurance as a painful tax before indeed Die Hard. Giving ourselves ferocity seems pretty strong because, again, we're going to be just moving HP around like a dirty accountant. When your hit point total is below 0 but you're not dead, you automatically stabilize. You don't need to make a con check each round to avoid losing additional HP. You may choose to act as if you were disabled rather than dying. You must make the decision as soon as you are reduced to negative hit points. If you do not choose that, you're unconscious but stable. Of course, strenuous things will still hurt you, but this might give you enough time to just quickly heal yourself, which is kind of all we need. Next, for even more halfling value, Cautious Fighter. When fighting defensively or using total defense, your dodge bonus to AC increases by 2. Honestly, moving inside someone's square when they can't move and then just total defensing, or having fight defensively set online all the time to pad out your AC is not bad. I imagine a lot of your turns are not spent attacking people. Or right after it, Blundering Defense. Whenever you fight defensively or use total defense, your allies get a bonus, a luck bonus, all you Fates favored war priests, equal to half the dodge bonus you get from your action to their AC and CMD, but only while they're adjacent to you, aka only while you're standing in the Baelor's square and they're stabbing it. Fast Healer's next. When you gain hit points by resting or through magical healing, you recover additional hit points equal to half your con mod value. Then, lastly, Contingent Spell. A contingent spell infuses a target with dormant healing or restorative magic that can trigger when a target needs it most. The metamagic feat can be applied only to cure spells, Breath of Life, or harmless things that can remove ability score damage, ability score drain, or a negative condition or effect. When you cast it, you set the condition, such as when the target dies they get Breath of Life, it stays dormant for 10 minutes per caster level, or set contingent heals on everybody to help your own action economy. For our revelations, O Oracle of Life, the first one, we get Lifelink right alongside Toughness. As a standard action, you may create a bond between yourself and another creature. Each round, at the start of your turn, If the bonded creature is wounded for 5 or more HP below its max, it heals 5 points and you take 5 points of damage. You may have 1 bond active per oracle level. The bond continues until the bonded creature dies. You die, the distance between you and the other creature exceeds medium range, or you end it as an immediate action, or forever, basically. When you're going down to business, you lifelink everybody, and your mileage may vary depending on party size. But that's the goal. Slowly over time, heal people up. If you take 15 damage in a turn from lifelinking 3 people up at mid-level play, then you lay on hands yourself and a bunch of things trigger and you go back to full as well. Then use your standard action to debuff or whatever other spells you might need. Worst case scenario, top yourself off with another cure. Or have your friends run through you like you're a sprinkler and it's summer 1995. Ah yes, I remember my youth. Energy Body. As a standard action, you can transform your body into pure life energy, resembling a golden white fire elemental. In this form, you gain the elemental subtype and give off a warm, welcoming light that increases the light level within 10 feet by 1 step up to normal light. Any undead creature striking you with its body or a handheld weapon deals normal damage, but at the same time, the attacker takes 1d6 points of positive energy plus 1 per oracle level. Creatures with reach weapons don't have this bad thing happen to them. If you grapple or attack an undead creature using unarmed strikes or natural weapons, you can do this thing, whatever, that's fine, that's okay, we don't even care. Once per round, if you pass through a living allied creature's square, and that allied part is so specific because I almost thought I made the build shit its pants because I thought Mouser would mean you're healing your allies. It doesn't. Or the ally passes through your square, it heals 1d6 HP plus 1 per oracle level. You may use this ability to heal yourself as a move action. 1d6 plus, at this point for us, 15 plus a bunch of other buffs as well. You choose whether or not to heal a creature when it passes through your space. You return as a free action, and you can do this for a number of rounds per day equal to your oracle level. Again, just more heals are good, especially when they're done not on our action economy. Lastly, we'll take Life Sense, unless we're playing against a bunch of undead. Yeah, why not? Let's locate living creatures within 30 feet as if you had blind sight. Deal. Sign me up. Now, for our key spells, some of these will be, your mileage may vary. It may very much depend on your party composition. I'm betting there's a couple people screaming at me from the rafters that I didn't take channel energy and what even is wrong with me. The 2 spells I want to highlight today are, in addition to Sanctuary, like I said, it's real nice for us, Stunning Barrier. Any creature that strikes you with a melee attack is stunned for a round, will negates. It also pads out your AC and saves and stuff. This will eventually tick up to greater, but smarter folks may very well target you, especially if they can spellcraft or knowledge religion or something into what you're doing. Sure, they're gonna swing at you. Knock them off the action economy. Give Johnny the Magus, who dumped his con because you're here, don't dump your con, kids, but you know what I mean, the chance to shocking grasp him into the ground that much faster. And then, of course, Peace de Resistance, Shield Other, also buffs out AC and saves, neat, but the subject takes only half damage from all wounds and attacks, including those dealt by special abilities that deal hit point damage. The amount of damage not taken by the warded creature is dealt to you. Forms of harm that do not involve hit points, such as charm effects, temporary ability damage level draining, and death effects are not affected if the subject suffers a reduction of hit points from a lowered con. The reduction is not split with you because it is not hit point damage. When the spell ends, subsequent damage is no longer divided, but damage already split is not, like, reassigned. If they take 20 damage, we split that 10 and 10 over 2 rounds of lifelink, they'll heal back to full, and we just lay on hands ourselves there. It's a weird combination between you gotta help yourself before you can help other people, and by helping yourself you are helping other people. And for our key magic items, of which there are many, you need that charisma, you need that big 6, you need to follow this card right up here if you don't know what I'm talking about. Honestly, we've got a few to talk about. 2 of them are a little game breaking and dumb, but hey, welcome to Pathfinder. First things first, Bracers of the Merciful Knight. These golden bracers are engraved with images of celestial creatures. When worn by a paladin, he is considered 4 levels higher for the purposes of determining the use per day and healing provided by lay on hands. Remember that pays-in stuff is treated as lay on hands. Additionally, once per day you get a lesser restoration. Right, seems good. Easy peasy. Since we are a divine caster, one of the items I found in Iron Fang Invasion that I'm super in love with, Incense of Meditation. When a divine spellcaster lights a block of incense in meditation and then spends 8 hours praying and meditating nearby, the incense enables him to prepare all his spells as if they were maximized, but at their normal level. Oops, maximized Cure Serious targeting us. Of course, we want a bunch of meta magic rods, Quicken for swift action power, Reach so when we do need to heal people we don't gotta grab them, super good. The Corset of Delicate Moves, which only costs you 2,000 gold. Not bad when once per day as a move action you get an additional swift action. So if you had to use an immediate to move into someone's square, you can still heal, or just double lay on hands. And of course also meditation crystals for extra use of lay on hands, since this time, unlike that ninja we did, follow this card right up here. You're not looking for a key point. You, Paladin of Sarenrae, may concentrate on the activated meditation crystal for a minute, but once again grab us one use of lay on hands. Super good. If you feel like never trying in this game again, because literally this is 5,000 gold for everyone is healed to full all the time forever, Boots of the Earth. As a move action, the wearer can plant her feet and draw strength from the earth, getting fast healing 1 and a +4 to a bunch of things. But yeah, so just sit boo boo sit and you heal to full for 5,000 gold. That's dumb. Very rarely do I think to myself, swing the banhammer, here we are. Or, you know, much more fairly, the Ring of Regeneration. Much less broken, much more expensive. I won't say necessarily completely invalidate your class because you could still die in combat, but it does make your job much easier. Now, in combat, your goal most of the time, I feel like, is make sure the important targets are shielded other. Make sure you've got lifelink on everybody who matters. Then when the combat breaks out, give people DR and just watch. Be attentive. Put your healing where it needs to go. If the combat is going good, mouser your way into the square of the boss monster and debuff them. Otherwise, just spend your turns making sure you're healed and at least everybody else's HP is ticking up. It's a very straightforward concept, and it's very good. I don't know what you'd call this in the optimized party, because, like, healing is something that, generally speaking, I feel like in TTRPGs, especially like 3.5 and P1, we're mostly just responsible for on our own, grab the wand to cure light wounds, and never have a problem again. This makes that a little easier. This means your party can challenge things a little above their pay grade, and it makes sure that we're holding on to our really fun character concepts so they don't die to a bad crit or just bad RNG, and then, well, there goes that guy. Or if that does happen, I mean, you're an orc, we'll just res them. I digress. What do we think? Have we played the Oradin? How do you feel about this one? Throw it down in the comments, and thank you all again so much for watching. I got a lot on my plate right now, making some 2nd edition videos. So next week's episode of Min-Maxing for Fun and Profit, well, we might just do a shorter video that week, that kind of thing. Just in preparation for getting a bunch of content down on the table for when this book drops. But till then, my friends, I will see you next time.